Okay, I've got everything taped up. Now it is time for the fun part. So, I am in Utah Valley. I'm at my American Fork location. I have not done a video in like a month, but I'm gonna kind of tell you what I've been doing. So this is my spot that I really like, but I'm kind of irritated because there are two total junker RVs that have found this spot. There's one right there, it's in rough shape. And there's another one around the corner that you can't see, but it moves around and it's old too. So I'm going to tell you what I've been doing. I'm in American Fork. I'm in this spot that I really like, and I'm actually back in Utah Valley, and I've been around Utah Valley a couple times. I left Kanab. My last video I was in Kanab. Boy, do I love Kanab. Kanab is such an awesome area. Just the coolest camping spot that I have. But I ended up leaving. I decided it was time to get back up to central Utah, and so I took the 89 route on my way back up here, and it is picturesque. If you ever get a chance to do it, drive the 89. It's so pretty. It's just a neat drive on the way back. Okay, so I'm getting ready to head out of town. Here I go. They were so awesome to camp by. Like, wow, I just totally lucked out. A really nice couple from Canada showed up last night. We all had a kind of a just powwow with a group of people that showed up, a couple of other people, and we just made a fire and talked last night. So this was such a spectacular spot. I mean, I liked the spot that I had in town, which was great. But gosh, this is great. Just at night, it's so quiet and it's so dark. And the drive out of here is really interesting too, going up along the 89. So right up here is the port of entry, and right next to that is the Nomad Cafe. I love this stretch coming up. Rock Shop. And then right over here, there's this weird building, this rock shop. It's in the shape of a big rock. this is? So, Cedar Breaks National Monument to the left. Oh, so I could turn off here, go over to Cedar City, up through an area called Duck Creek Village, really pretty, but I don't want to do that today. I've actually stopped at the gas station right there in my last RV, and I took that route, but I'm not going to do that this time. I got back here and I immediately had a bunch of work, and I've just been busy with work, and I just haven't gone and done a video. But one of the things that I decided to do was to paint the RV. And let me tell you, these junkers that are here, the one there, it's in rough shape. Like, it's physically like its back is broken. When you look at it from the side, it is in rough shape. There are those cats. Let's see if I can kind of get over here. When I first saw it, it was actually parked about right here, and it's in bad shape, and it's like it's something is seriously broken with it. So it kind of irritates me, because that jeopardizes me with my better looking RV. So let me tell you what I decided to do. I decided to paint my RV. I've watched videos on people who have painted their RVs, and I decided that it was time for me to do it. And this is what I did. I painted my RV. I hated the decals. There are still some decals on there along the top, but what I decided to do was paint it on the front of the cab here and along the body. And my primary goal was to kind of modernize it, make it look a little bit more modern, and to get rid of the old decals. There was no way those decals were going to get painted off, or peeled off, that is. And so what I decided to do was do some research into painting RVs, and this is what I ended up doing. I scrubbed it down, I washed it down really thoroughly, and then I painted it with an oil-based primer, most of it. I got Zinsser Cover Stain oil-based primer, because when I was washing it, I noticed that the old decals, when I was scrubbing them, a lot of the ink was coming off. Well, I've decided to try tackling it. I am actually going to paint part of the exterior of the RV. So I have been spending time prepping it. I haven't filmed any of the washing, but I have been washing the exterior. It was pretty filthy, but I just got a sander and I sanded this down. I'm at my sister's place and she's got a bunch of tools. Just a hand sand, and I sanded this down to get it smooth. These aren't coming off, not with a heat gun or anything. And what I discovered is that when I was washing them with just like soap and water, is that the color bleeds really strongly from these. So I've been nervous about using a primer that's water-based. So I went and got an oil-based primer, and I did a test just with a brush just to see how it would adhere, and it seems like it's applying, you know, really well to it. And it's supposed to be a really, really good primer, and it claims it'll stick to anything. But I'm in the process now of starting to tape up. One of the things that I've been doing is I've also gone through and done touch-ups on the sealant. So I got some more Dicor. I got the non-sag version. You can kind of see at the top there's a coloration different. And I tested the oil-based solvent, or the oil-based primer, on a little patch right here of the Dicor, and it actually, the solvents did kind of erode the Dicor a little bit. So I've got to be kind of careful, and I think what I'm going to do is I actually have a water-based solvent, or a water-based primer from the interior of the RV that I had used, that's an interior-exterior, and what I'm going to do is carefully apply it to just sort of these edges where there is Dicor, because that shouldn't cause any problems to the Dicor. So I'm going to do sort of a mixture. I'm going to loosely paint up until I get close to some of these areas and then use the water base on that. I'm going to start back here. I sanded and sanded as well as I could. These decals are going to go away. And this comes off. I've never actually taken and used this, so it turns out it's very easy to actually just unclamp this so it comes away, which is nice. Got a new roller here. Wow, I love this part. Sort of the instant gratification you get of seeing these decals, these ugly decals, go away. I've still got to decide on a color. It's interesting because there's just enough green in this color that you really see under certain lights, that I've got to kind of find a color that's going to match with that. Decals be gone. So I just replaced this die core right here. I removed the previous die core and put in this new stuff, and it's still not quite fully cured, so I'm not painting to there. And the oil-based paint interacts a little bit, the solvents, with the old die core, so I'm trying to be a little bit careful, except for that right there, with painting on there. So I'm going to use the water-based primer to come down in a couple of these sensitive areas, because once this is dry, you can put anything on top of it. Oh. So I got the first primary coat of the back on, and I've got 2 full coats on the side, plus I've got some of the trim to finish. I've gone through 2 quarts, so I've got to get, probably I'm going to get another gallon to do, because I've got to do the full other side on at least 2 coats. So this is a cover stain, is what they call the product, and it does a good job. I mean, look at this. You can see kind of the imprint of the decals a little bit, but 2 coats really cover. I've actually got probably close to 3 coats in a couple of segments, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And of course, this is Utah, and so it's totally clear in the morning, and then thunderstorms pop up in the afternoon. So I'm a little bit like, I don't want it to rain, but this is coming along, and I'm happy. So once I had primed the RV, I had initially primed just up to this natural seam in the RV right here, because I primarily, again, I wanted to get rid of the decals. You can kind of see the imprint of the decals, but you really have to get it under the right light for them to be fully visible. And I painted the rear, and the seam is higher over here. And I thought, oh, you know what? I don't like this being down lower, and I decided it actually looked better to raise the line up here. So I remasked this area and I extended this up. And I actually had some primer, a water-based primer that I used up here that was, both of the primers were interior, exterior grade. And so it was just perfectly fine up here because there were no decals. So I've decided to extend the paint job. So around the back, this natural seam in the RV, which right here I took the painter tape off, comes up here, and it's been kind of bugging me. And just also, it would be nice to take it up just from a balance graphic artist, a graphic balance standpoint. So since I haven't painted on it yet and I've still got primer left, I'm doing this. I'm going to extend it all the way over. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I got that extension. It's maybe 10 inches, 11 inches, almost a foot. I think that'll be great. I just feel better about this. It was weird with this natural seam coming to the bottom of the windows, and with that extending up, it just looks better. But importantly, it mostly matches. It's not exact. I may be off by 1/8 of an inch or so, but it matches. So the seam on the back is higher. So that's what I matched it to. And it's funny because I decided to leave this just as a sort of an homage to the original decals, but you can see how cracked they are. And because I wanted it to look sort of, to look good and consistent with the other design that I have on the interior, I got a blue that generally matched this. Okay, so I've got the first coat of the paint in. I'm using Valspar Defense, which is the high-end exterior semi-gloss, and you can see the paint that I chose has just a slight bit of warmth to it, like a creaminess, especially compared to the primer at the bottom, which is just that white. And that helps it to match the original color of the RV. And it also matches the blue. So I've got the back painted. I can't quite paint. I mean, it's partially cloudy. You're not supposed to paint in direct sunlight, I don't think, from what I read. So I'm gonna wait till this afternoon and I'm gonna paint the other side. So I've got the first coat in, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's coming together. Yeah, so that slight creaminess, it just matches the original tonality. And I'm really happy that I measured it. It's 8.5 inches that I raised above the seam line right there. I just think that makes it so much better. So I'm really happy that I've done that. Oh, almost done. So the paint that I ended up going with was home-based exterior paint. Ended up doing some research and went with Valspar paint. They make home exterior paint called Defense. It's like their newest paint, and it's supposed to be really robust. So I've got the first coat of the paint in. I'm using Valspar Defense, which is the high-end exterior semi-gloss, and you can see the paint that I chose has just a slight bit of warmth to it, like a creaminess, especially compared to the primer at the bottom, which is just that white. So there it is. I drove to the gym this morning. So the next thing that I plan on doing is painting into part of the cab area. I just love how fresh it looks. Boy, just getting rid of those decals on the side. I'm really wanting to paint the cab now. And I have decided this weekend I want to paint this cab area. So I've just finished washing. Now I'm just going to rub it down with this alcohol to really get it super clean, and then I've got to mask it up. Okay, I've got everything taped up. Now it is time for the fun part. Okay, well, I got both sides in. It's really hard to paint and hold the camera. I've still got about a fifth of the quart left. So tomorrow I may paint another coat. I can see a couple of areas that are still coming through, but I've got at least 2.5 coats on all of this. Look at that. So this is one more step in getting rid of these awful decals and freshen this RV up. Okay, so I'm in the final process of taking all the tape off. Two pieces over here. These are a little bit of pain to come off, but they're coming off pretty well. I've got a little gap right there, but that's okay. So I've effectively got about 2.5 or 3 coats on this front area here on both sides, and I've got plenty left that I can use to do touch-ups as I need to, and I actually just did a few touch-ups. So wow.